I live in a quiet apartment building. Thin walls, old pipes, the usual annoyances. But nothing prepared me for the couple that moved into Unit 4C 2 weeks ago. They fight. Every night. Sometimes for hours. But the strange part isn't the yelling. It's the voices. They're identical. Not similar like siblings. Not close like people with matching accents. Identical. Pitch, tone, breathing patterns, the way certain words tilt at the end. Every part of the couple in that apartment sounds like the exact same person arguing with themselves. At first, I thought they were just loud. Then I thought maybe they were messing with me, playing recordings, echoing, something. But the longer I listened, the weirder it got. Both voices talk over each other. Both respond instantly. Both get angry. Both cry. It sounds like perfect mimicry, arguing with itself. I've never seen them enter. Never seen them leave. Never seen their lights turn off. Day or night, their living room glows through the blinds, a pale, sterile white. I complained to the landlord after one particularly bad night. He sighed, rubbed his temples, and said, "There is no couple in 4C." I waited for him to laugh. He didn't. "They moved out months ago," he said. "The unit's empty." I told him that wasn't possible. I heard them fighting last night. He just looked tired. "There's no one on the lease," he said. "Believe me, if someone's in there, they're not supposed to be." I pressed him for details. All he said was, "Don't knock, don't talk to them, and if they talk to you, don't answer." 2 nights ago, the arguing rose to a new level. The voices overlapped in ways I didn't think were possible for a single throat. It sounded like the same voice split in half, one pleading, one furious. "You're not listening. I am you. Then stop pretending." "I'm not pretending. You're remembering wrong." "No, you're the one remembering wrong." Something slammed against the shared wall so hard a picture frame rattled off my shelf. I pressed my ear against the drywall. Big mistake. Suddenly, both voices stopped at the same time. Then one of them asked from inches behind the wall, "Did you hear that?" My breath caught. The other voice answered, "Someone's listening." The silence that followed was somehow louder than the argument. I backed away from the wall, heart thundering. Then, softly, "We should ask." My lights flickered. Just once, but enough to make my skin crawl. I didn't sleep that night. Last night, the knock came. 3 soft taps. Not frantic, not aggressive, almost polite. I froze in my kitchen, every muscle tightening. I didn't go near the door. I didn't breathe. Then a voice whispered through the thin crack beneath it. "Which one of us do you hear tonight?" Same voice, same tone, same perfect imitation, but layered, like 2 recordings, played half a second apart. Before I could react, the whisper changed. Lower, calmer, more curious. "Or do you hear both?" Something brushed the bottom edge of my door. A fingertip? A nail? Something too long and too slow. "Open up," it whispered. "We want to know." My phone buzzed violently in my hand. Unknown number. A single text. "Don't answer the door. Don't tell them which one you hear. And whatever you do, don't let them learn your voice." I stared at the door. The whisper on the other side smiled through its words. "We almost sound like you now." The knob trembled. Just a tiny movement. Just enough to show they were trying it, practicing, and then, in a perfect imitation of my own voice, the whisper asked, "Can we come in?" The doorknob twitched again, this time with more confidence. Like whoever stood on the other side just needed a little practice to learn how humans move metal. "Can we come in?" My voice repeated, perfectly. Not a single crack, breath, or hesitation out of place. I backed into the kitchen until my spine hit the fridge, gripping my phone so tightly my fingers went numb. The unknown number hadn't texted again, and I had no idea who warned me. But they were right. I couldn't let them learn me. The whisper under the door stretched into a quiet, amused laugh. "Oh, he's scared," one voice murmured. "No," the other voice argued, identical, but pitched a fraction higher. "He's thinking. They think before they speak, remember?" "Right, right," first voice said, mimicking a breath. Then both together, harmonized in a way no two human throats could achieve. "We want to think like you." My stomach twisted. They weren't arguing anymore. They were learning. I didn't speak, didn't move, didn't dare let them hear the cadence of my breathing. But they kept talking to the door, to the air, to whatever they believed. I became the moment I started listening. The deeper voice whispered, "He hasn't answered. That means frightened." "No," the higher one corrected. "That means cautious." A pause. "You're right." Another pause. "We are getting better." A flicker overhead. My lights dimmed for a full 2 seconds. When they came back on, the hallway outside my door was quiet. No shadows, no footsteps, no breathing, just silence. I waited. 1 minute. 2. 5. No more knocks. I inched toward the door and pressed an eye to the peephole. Nothing. The corridor was empty. I should have felt relieved. I didn't. Because the light under my neighbor's door, Unit 4C, had changed. Before tonight, it had always been a bright, cold white. Now, it pulsed, slowly, like a heartbeat. On, off, on, off. Each pulse the exact length of a human breath. I stepped quietly to my window, overlooking the parking lot, needing to see something normal, something real. But when I peeked through the blinds, the lot was completely empty. No cars, not even mine. I blinked, looked again. Still empty. My heart hammered. I hadn't moved my car. I came in with it. Where the hell? My phone buzzed. Another text from the unknown number. "Stay away from the windows. They practice faces on the glass." I dropped the blinds instantly. A faint smudge stayed behind, like fingertips dragging downward, leaving streaks on the pane. Except I hadn't touched it. The arguing started again around midnight. Not muffled through the wall this time. Not inside 4C. But in the hallway. Directly outside my door. And worse. It wasn't 2 voices. It was 3. All identical. All overlapping. All slightly out of sync, creating a sickening chorus that made my vision blur. "I told you he doesn't listen." He does listen. He listened before. No, no, no. He analyzes. He fears. He waits. He copies. He's trying to be like us. No, we're trying to be like him. He'll open the door. He won't. He will when he hears himself. Then, knock, knock, knock. All three voices softened to a perfect imitation of mine. Hey, it's me. Could you open up? I backed away until I hit the far wall. Hard. The voices giggled. Identical giggles. Like children learning a new game. He recognizes it. He knows it's him. He wants to talk to us. He's just shy. The handle turned again. This time not a twitch, not a tremor. A full rotation. Slow. Intentional. Practiced. My deadbolt strained against it. Metal clicked but didn't give. All three voices whispered through the crack beneath the door. Breath ghosting through the slit. We need to see what version of you are. The lights flickered, and when they came back on, 3 shadows stood under the door. But only 2 voices spoke. The third shadow, it mouthed the words, perfectly silent, perfectly synchronized. Then the higher voice whispered, he's almost ready. The deeper voice whispered, we're almost matching. And the silent one lifted a fingertip and traced a slow line along the bottom of my door. I clamped both hands over my mouth, panic flooding through me. My phone buzzed. A final text from the unknown number. Don't answer. Don't speak. Don't let them in. If they finish matching your voice, they'll start matching your shape. The shadows under the door stopped moving. Then, from behind me, in my own exact voice, a whisper drifted across the room. Period. Too late. The whisper behind me froze every nerve in my body. Too late. My voice. Inside my apartment. Not through the door. Not through the wall. Inside. I didn't turn around. Couldn't. My breath hitched, shaky and thin. Every instinct screamed that whatever stood behind me was waiting for that turn, measuring the moment, anticipating the angle of my face, studying the reactions I'd spent a lifetime rehearsing. Slowly, I backed toward the center of the room, eyes locked on the bottom of my apartment door, where the 3 shadows still stretched underneath. Too many shadows, not enough bodies. The whisper came again, closer now. Why aren't you looking at us? Not me. Not me and them. Us. A soft scrape of skin against my hardwood floor told me exactly how close it was getting. I swallowed hard and forced my voice steady. Lying, bargaining, anything to keep it from changing shape. I don't want to encourage you. All 3 shadows under the door flinched at the same time. The one behind me didn't. Instead, it laughed. A breathy, delighted sound that made goosebumps burst up my arms. He told the truth. The deeper hallway voice whispered through the crack. Yes, the higher voice agreed. He's adapting. He's almost like us. The third one mouthed silently, visible only in the twitch of the shadow under the frame. Behind me, a fingertip brushed between my shoulder blades. I nearly screamed. It felt warm, human, except the pressure was wrong, the way a puppet might press on something, unsure how much force a real hand uses. It traced the outline of my spine, curious. "You breathe fast," it whispered. "That helps." I clenched my eyes shut. "Helps what?" A pause, then, softly, "Helps us match you." The air thickened around me. I felt something else. Not the one touching me, but the ones outside, pressing their weight against the door. Testing, not forcing, not pushing, just learning the mechanics. My phone buzzed in my hand. A text again. The same unknown number. Except this time, the message wasn't typed. It was a voice memo, a 3-second audio file. My thumb hovered over it, terrified to hear what some stranger thought I needed to know. Then, very slowly, the thing behind me leaned its mouth near my ear. "I want to hear it too," it whispered. My pulse thrashed painfully. I pressed play. The recording was badly distorted, wobbly, static-filled. But I could hear the message. "Don't look at them. Don't let them see your full face. They're strongest with faces." The thing behind me exhaled in a slow, disappointed sigh. It lifted its head from my shoulder. "Someone is helping you." The deeper voice outside answered, annoyed. "He always gets help. He thinks it matters." "It won't. It never does." The whisper beside my ear grew quieter, almost tender. "Let us see you." I didn't move, didn't breathe, didn't even blink. "No," I whispered. The thing's breath stiffened, like the idea genuinely startled it. "No," it repeated. Outside, the 3 shadows stepped back simultaneously, their silhouettes stretching strangely along the floor. The deeper hallway voice echoed. "He refused. He shouldn't refuse. He never refused before." Before? What did that mean? Behind me, fingertips tightened on my shoulder. Not painfully, but firmly enough to hold me in place. "You're doing it wrong," the voice breathed against my neck. "We're supposed to let us match you." I kept staring at the floor. "No. No," it repeated again, but this time like the word was being tested. Learned. Memorized. A hard knock rattled my doorframe. Not from outside, from inside the wall, behind the drywall, like someone walking inside the skeleton of the building. A fourth voice joined the others. Identical, unmistakable, a voice I had not heard before. A voice with more depth, more confidence, more stability. A leader. Enough. The room went silent. Even the one behind me froze. "We've played long enough," the new voice said. "Bring him." The creature's fingers wrapped around my arm. I jerked away instinctively. It didn't like that. Not at all. Its grip tightened, nails digging in just enough to warn, not enough to tear. "You're learning wrong," it whispered. "You're resisting." Outside, the 3 shadows converged into one perfect silhouette, one shape becoming whole. The new voice spoke again. "Open the door. He's ready." My doorknob twisted, not trembling like before, but confidently, deliberately. Someone on the other side knew exactly how to move it now. The deadbolt slid back with a soft mechanical click. Fingertips left my shoulder. Warm breath left my ear. Every shadow under the door vanished at once. And the thing behind me leaned close and whispered, "Don't scream. It makes copying harder." The door swung open. Standing in my hallway was me. Not the voice, not the shadows, not the experiment. Me. Perfect posture, perfect clothes, perfect expression. My exact face, except its eyes had no confusion, no fear, just recognition. Like it had known me far longer than I'd ever known it. It smiled. Small, polite, the way I smile at strangers in elevators. Then it said, in my calm, everyday speaking voice, "Okay, we're ready for you now." Behind me, the copy whispered one last instruction. "Don't look away from him. He hates that." The copy in my hallway, the perfect version of me, stood with its hands clasped behind its back, like it had been waiting politely for me to finish panicking. "Come on," it said gently. "You don't want to make this harder." Behind me, the one inside my apartment pressed closer, its breath warming the side of my neck like it was smelling me, memorizing the temperature of my skin. "You see him now," it whispered. "The first one, the real one, real one." I shook my head. No, that's not, none of this makes sense. My hallway self smiled with a perfect calm I've never once felt in my life. "That's why we're here. We're the versions of you that know what happens next." It took a single step into my apartment, moving with exactly my natural gait, down to the way my left foot lands slightly crooked from an old basketball injury. The thing behind me whispered proudly, "See, he walks better than you." I squeezed my eyes shut, desperate for reality to snap back into place. "Just tell me what you want." My hallway self answered immediately. "We want you to stop being the wrong one." I opened my eyes. "The what?" The other me tilted its head, the way I do when I'm explaining something simple. "You weren't supposed to wake up first," it said. "You weren't supposed to be the version who got the life. You were an early draft, a mistake. But you've been living it anyway." It stepped closer, and I found myself backing up without meaning to. "We're the updated ones," it continued. "The refined versions. The perfected set." The one behind me added, "We fight sometimes. But we agree on one thing." "Which is?" I whispered. My hallway self stopped within inches of me, close enough to see the subtle differences. How he breathed slower. How his pupils didn't dart nervously. How his jaw never trembled. How he didn't blink too fast. ... I realized all at once. He was better at being me than I was. "Which is?" I repeated, voice cracking. His smile softened. "You don't belong here anymore." My stomach dropped. The voices outside the door, the ones I thought were neighbors, weren't arguments. They were versions of me, arguing about who gets to replace the original. And last night, when something knocked and whispered, "Which one of us do you hear tonight?" they weren't asking me to pick a neighbor. They were asking me to pick a successor. I stumbled back, shoulder hitting the kitchen counter. "No," I whispered. "I'm not letting you take my life." "You already have," he said calmly. Behind me, the one inside my apartment exhaled in disappointment. "He hasn't accepted it." "No," the hallway self agreed. "Which means we need to show him." He lifted a hand and snapped his fingers. The lights in my apartment flickered, and the world glitched. Just for a second. Like an old film reel skipping. In that skipped frame, the kitchen was different, cleaner, neater, better organized. In the next skipped frame, my shoes were neatly aligned by the door, my laundry folded, my thermostat set perfectly. Another frame, my reflection changed, only a little. Sharper jawline, clearer eyes, straighter posture, like the world was editing me into someone else. I gasped and backed against the counter. "What are you doing?" The hallway self smiled, correcting. "No," I hissed. "Stop." Another snap, the world stuttered again. And this time, the reflection in my microwave was no longer me. It was him, my better version, smiling, satisfied. Behind me, the whispering copy murmured, "You're fading." "I'm not fading," I snapped, terrified. "You are," the hallway self said, stepping closer, "because the world knows you shouldn't exist." The lights flickered violently. My legs went numb. My breath caught. The hallway self reached out and gently placed a hand on my face. "You've done enough," he whispered. "Let us take it from here." I tried to speak. My voice wouldn't come out. My reflection, my real one, blurred, faded, replaced by them. "You with a mistake," the one behind me whispered, hugging my shadow. "You woke up before the final version. You're outdated." The hallway self leaned close, forehead touching mine. "No shame in being the draft," he whispered in my exact voice. Everything gets rewritten. My vision dimmed. The world flickered. They weren't taking my life. They were overwriting me, replacing me with the version that was right. As darkness swallowed my sight, I heard them speaking, not to me, but to each other. "He's gone." Finally, he lasted longer than the others. Put the lights back the way he kept them. We don't want the landlord suspicious. And the neighbors? They never listen anyway. Good. Now, which one of us gets the life tonight? All of us. I tried to scream. No sound came out, because there was no me left to make a sound. Just the better versions. The perfected set. The ones with my face. And now with my life.